Okay, here are things that I've done to my face that I regret. A lot. So to give you some backstory, after I graduated from college, a minor league hockey player broke my heart, as they do. And if you're judging me, so am I, to be honest. This chapter of my life was really, really strange. So I was living in Ohio and I Googled med spas near me. That's never something that you should ever Google. I went to the first Google result. I couldn't even be bothered to go to the second one. Nope. I drove there, I show up, and I'm like, what can we do? Because we're doing something. We are doing something. If you ever find yourself Googling the words med spas near me, put your phone down, give it to me. Okay, so I show up and they give me a lip flip. It was like $80. It's basically just like Botox in your lips to make your lip go upwards, but my lip is already upwards. Like that was a waste of $80. I don't know why they let me get that. A week later, I was like, I want the real thing. So I got an entire syringe of lip filler in my face all at once. That is way too big for my face all at once. So then I was still heartbroken, spoiler alert, like 2 weeks later. And I was looking at my face and I was like, what else can be wrong with me? I know, maybe I'll get Botox. I was like 21. I was 21, I did not have wrinkles. That was so weird. I drove back to the same med spa. Why didn't I ever go to like, I don't know, maybe the second Google result? Why didn't I read a review? They gave me the most insane Botox that you could ever get. My eyebrows were stuck like this. I looked like a jack-o'-lantern or something. Like that is a jump scare. I'm scared of you. I looked so mad. So then instead of addressing the huge problem that my eyebrows were, I was just like, you know what? Let's get more lip filler. Eventually the Botox wore off and I was like, I need more. I need more of that. I went to a new place and they made my eye stuck halfway closed. I looked like a broken baby doll. It just looked like I was like glitching all the time. And I was just stuck like that. That is the face that I was stuck with. So yeah, if you're gonna go to a med spa, just make sure it's not right after a minor league hockey player breaks your heart. And I know that sounds specific, but it's happened to me more than once somehow. I'm not even exaggerating. So yeah.
So today we're gonna have a coffee chat. I'm gonna tell you about the plastic surgery stuff I've done that I regret 100%. The first one is a liquid rhinoplasty. I did this before my surgical rhinoplasty and I should have just gotten the surgery to begin with. It would have saved me thousands of dollars. But if your issue is similar to mine where you felt your nose is too big, adding filler to it is not gonna help. It'll make it straighter, but it's still gonna be big and you're gonna be sad. Second is air sculpt. I have beef with air sculpt. So I did the air sculpt, which is like liposuction, but more specific, and a hip flip. So they took fat from my stomach and put it in my hips. And it's advertised as painless. You're awake the whole time, and it was the worst pain I've ever been in. The before and afters are the exact same. Like there's not one difference. And when I went in for my post-consult appointment, like literally drowning in tears about the waste of money that this was, they told me I should work out more. So that's just something I regret. One, because horrible people. Two, because it's a horrible procedure, it doesn't work. And yeah, other than that, super happy with everything else. Happy with the journey, the providers that I've picked, and I'll definitely share more of the other stuff that I actually like.
Work I regret having done. First up, I regret getting a boob job. I had to get mine explanted, so I obviously don't regret that. But the boob job caused so many issues for me and I looked like a freak, honestly. My boobs were so good before. Next, I regret having filler in my cheeks. It has been a nightmare to get it removed. Like it's taken so long and my face has looked quite botched in the process. I just simply did not need it. Next, I regret having my eyebrows tattooed on. Look, I literally have to like paint over them with concealer every single day because you can see the tattoo. Also regret having my lips tattooed on. Reason being is my lips have never been the same since. They are constantly cracking and chapped, and apparently that is like literally a symptom of getting lip blush done. Also regret getting Botox just because I never needed it. Like I got it at like 20 years old, which is just so ridiculous. And I completely lost the emotion in my face. I remember when I was on Big Brother, I did so well, like on reality TV, because I feel like they were just capturing my expressions in everything that I did, because I was probably the only one that didn't have a frozen forehead. Not to say I won't be getting it when I'm older. I will definitely be getting it when I'm older. Next thing I regret is getting veneers. They're only on that tooth and that tooth, but if you can see with that, the discoloration keeps changing. Also, I didn't really do my research, so the guys that did it basically shaved my entire teeth off, and I just watched like Indy Clinton get hers put on. She didn't even have to shave her teeth. So like, what was I getting done that I'm basically missing my teeth there? Last thing that I regret is getting hair extensions for so long. I didn't realize that they were so damaging to your hair. Honestly, I was like, why does my hair not grow? I have them in now, so that's so hypocritical. But my hair is like so damaged. I wish I'd never got them in the first place. Anyway, I feel like I'm nearly back to normal. I've worked so hard to reverse everything. The tattoos are being removed, filler's gone, the boobs are out. I don't know. I'm feeling good. Love you guys.
Kaylani, you got your implants removed?
I did. It's the
How
best
long
thing I
did
ever
you
did.
have them?
Okay, no, but let's talk about it because I got my breast implants done 5 years ago and I'm booked to have an explant with breast lift next month. So a couple of months ago, I noticed that I was having this shooting pain in my neck. It was getting worse and worse as life was going on. And then eventually it ran down into my shoulder and now it has evolved into my entire arm. My fingers are tingly. I have extreme brain fog. My eyes are extremely blurry. My right boob is burning. This one was confirmed ruptured, so I have a ruptured implant on this side. The doctors say that it's my anxiety and that a lot of scans can't show if an implant is actually ruptured or just like squeezed with scar tissue. So yeah, they've been playing me like I'm a dummy for a couple months. And also, I feel like I've been sick 5 times in the last 4 weeks, which I never get sick. So my immune system is slowly declining.
Why I regret having liposuction. Let's get into it. Okay, so I got liposuction back in, I want to say 2015. I was getting out of a bad relationship and I felt like I just needed a new attitude, and I had gained a lot of weight in that relationship, like a lot of weight, or so I thought. Nothing compares to now. But anyways, I decided to get liposuction. So I did not go to a board certified plastic surgeon. I went to a doctor who took some classes. But I had a homegirl who had gotten liposuction from him previously, so I saw her results and I trusted. And she had gotten like liposuction and like BBL and stuff, so she looked T. So I was like, I'm gonna get liposuction. This is when these doctors were like starting to like really get into like taking classes and getting certifications in liposuction and just using the machine and stuff. So it wasn't a lot out there about it like that. I never went on Real Self. I never did anything like that. I didn't find out this kind of stuff until way after. So I got the liposuction and I felt happy, but I wasn't told about, like, it was like a, if you want to do the lymphatic massaging, and I didn't understand. I didn't know anything about it, and I was a little broke, so I was just like, I can't afford no massages, like, what are you talking about? So I did not do lymphatic massaging, and I did wear the faja, but probably not nearly as much as I should have. It was pretty lax in you know, me doing it, but I ended up still doing it, and I still got the results that I wanted. Like, my stomach was flat, I was happy, like, you know, all was good. So fast forward a few years later, I lose a lot of weight. My mom passes away, and I'm like the smallest I had ever been. So I was like really happy in this small frame. Like, my boobs went down, my face was slim, like everything was good, but I started having gastro issues, and it was very minimal at first. Like, I would just notice like my poop like would be different, and I'd be like, what's up with that, you know? And if I started gaining some weight, and I noticed like that my stomach was like lumpy, and I'd be like, what the freak, you know? But it wasn't like really noticeable until I had a baby. So when people say don't get your body done if you want kids, like, this is why. I never thought that I was gonna have kids. I was not the one that was saying that I wanted kids. I wanted to be the rich auntie who lived in a penthouse somewhere in Miami who had dogs. Like, I was not trying to live the suburban life that I'm living right now, being a wife and having kids. Like, anybody who knows me knows that. But I ended up getting pregnant. Happiest time of my life. Loved being pregnant. And I love my baby who's coming over to my car right now. But baby, my stomach wrecked. Like, lumpy, dumpy stomach now. Just because it's cold outside. 55 is cold, baby. You had me in Florida too long. But anyways, so now I have stomach issues, like gastro issues, and I'm not blaming liposuction, but I do feel that no one alerted me and told me what adhesions were, which is scar tissue that forms in your stomach after liposuction that could wrap around intestines and really slow motility in your stomach to cause gastroparesis, or, you know, just to slow down your digestive process. So if you're noticing that you're more constipated, like that you're like struggling more to poop, it's probably because you have adhesions and scar tissue from having liposuction. So that is why I regret having liposuction. Now, if I would have went to a plastic surgeon, and if I was educated, and if I knew about scar tissue and adhesions, I would be looking for a plastic surgeon who knew how to avoid that from happening, and who knew how to treat and, you know, just take care so that, you know, you possibly would not get scar tissue. A lot of people say that regardless, if you have liposuction, you're gonna have scar tissue. If you have gastric bypass surgery, you're gonna have scar tissue. And a lot of times that slows down motility, it slows down your digestive tract, and a lot of people are finding out that they have something that's called EPI, which is exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, and that's pretty much when your pancreas is just slow at releasing digestive enzymes, specifically lipase, which breaks down fats. And it gets wild. It just gets wild. And, you know, if you do a CT scan, a good radiologist will be able to tell you, yeah, we see scar tissue. I have had tons of CT scans because I've had so many issues, and no one could ever tell me. I've had colonoscopies, endoscopies, totally fine. But my gut has been a wreck since having liposuction. I have never had gut issues. Like, I've always had a more sensitive stomach, so I wasn't a drinker in college. I would opt out of that. But ever since that liposuction, like, and as my life has progressed and as my weight has waned, it's like it just gets worse. So if you are looking to get liposuction, please look for a plastic surgeon, board certified plastic surgeon. Talk to them about adhesions. Talk to them about scar tissue. If they know nothing about it, run, because it's a thing. And I believe that there are ways to, you know, avoid that from happening. But if you're going to like one of these like med spas and doing liposuction, more than likely that MD, that doctor, does not know how to avoid scar tissue, which is also called adhesions. So there are people out there who do like massages to like try to break out the scar tissue. They call it like fascia or something like that. Pretty pricey. And it's not a relaxing massage. It's painful. But yeah, I say all that to say that is why I regret that I got liposuction.
There was this account yesterday that commented on like 5 of my videos asking if I have a nose job, and yes, I do have a nose job. I had my nose done about like 6 or 7 years ago, so it's been quite a while, and I feel like I've really had time to reflect and evaluate my decision. I don't regret getting a nose job, but I definitely regret why I got it at the time that I got it, if that makes sense. Let's just say people in high school were very opinionated, and they let me know that my nose was bigger than theirs. And it honestly made me really insecure, and I hated it. And I got it out of a huge insecurity that I had developed. And if I had gotten it now, I feel like I'd be getting it for different reasons. If I got it now as opposed to then, I feel like I'd be getting it obviously still out of some level of insecurity, but at least it wouldn't be because of an insecurity that other people gave me. It would be just genuinely my own feelings, which would make me feel probably a lot better about it. I do like my nose now, but there are definitely regrets, and I feel like with any plastic surgery, you have to kind of have realistic expectations because it's not gonna come out perfect, and it's probably not even gonna come out the way that you had 100% hoped for. My nose before a rhinoplasty was never crooked, and now it is. It's also a lot wider than it was before, although it is more sloped from the side. It's wider because they like put it down, if that makes sense. It also lacks any kind of definition from the front view, and it's different on both sides. You know what's funny too is the same people that bullied me for having the nose I had back then, when I got my nose job, they were like talking major crap about me, saying like, I can't believe she got her nose done, da da da. Like, you are the reason, like, you bullied me. I also have like a horror story that I want to share one day about my surgeon that I went to, which is why I will never recommend him to anyone. But that's a story for another day because it's literally traumatizing, and it's also worth mentioning that nose jobs literally take years to heal. Like even 3 years into the process, my nose was still changing. And when I first got the cast taken off of my nose, I was terrified at the way that it looked, and I thought I made the biggest mistake of my entire life, but it takes so long for it to heal and for the swelling to go down. Anyways, if you do decide you want to get a rhinoplasty, my biggest advice is make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and it's not because someone else is making you feel bad about it, and do your research on the surgeon because it's right in the middle of your face. Everyone's gonna see it, and you want to make sure you go to someone who knows what they're doing. Lastly, just make sure it's something you've been wanting for a really long time, because you might get a little older and realize that your nose wasn't that bad after all.
I truly regret getting liposuction. Like, truly, wholeheartedly, with my full chest, my soul, everything. I really regret ever moving forward with a liposuction procedure. I have been debating on making this video for like the longest fucking time ever. And I'm not saying this lightly. I have been struggling the last 2.5 years making peace with the fact that I did this procedure. I feel like it is absolutely impossible for me to lose body fat, to tone up without having constant body dysmorphia, without constant like mental struggles. And then like not just that, at one point I swear to God I thought I had fibrosis. Luckily I didn't. I had that checked out, but now like where I had the liposuction, so I specifically had the mommy pouch area done. So although it's not fibrosis, the area above where I did have the liposuction, there's like lumps. I don't know if it's like fatty lumps. I don't know what the hell it is. It's just every time I look in the mirror, it truly, 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 truly upsets me. Like, I honestly just want to break down and fucking cry every time I look in the mirror. Every time.
I am completely exposing myself today again. Let's talk about work I've gotten done that I regret. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having cellulite. But when I was younger, I had the most crippling insecurity about my cellulite. Growing up as a Latin girl in Orange County, I was surrounded by these beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls who were super skinny, and I just wasn't that. My body type was definitely not that. It was curvier. When I found out that there was a cellulite reducing procedure that I could do to help my cellulite, I literally ran into the doctor's office. Warning, if you ever have the opportunity to get a procedure called Selfina, run away as fast as you can. It is The biggest regret that I've ever done. I don't want to call out any plastic surgeons, but I ended up going to a certain plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills. He inspected the back of my legs, took a marker and literally just went to town on all the places that I had cellulite. And when he showed me in the mirror all of my imperfections, I felt like there was something wrong with me, continuing to affirm my crippling insecurities that I had. He flipped me over onto this table. This machine comes down and starts poking me and then basically lasering, exploding my cellulite into every single dot that he had put into the back of my legs. When I tell you there was like over 45 dots on the back of my legs, it was definitely painful, and just no amount of cellulite is worth that much pain. He said that I would bleed a little bit. I was literally on my bed. I had to put a plastic garbage bag underneath me because there was liquid and blood coming out of me for the next 24 hours. The scarring, absolutely not worth it. I will keep my cellulite. Thank you very much. Rock your cellulite with confidence. It's the body that God has given you and you should own it. Now, you know your girl's got more work she's gotten done that she regrets. So if you want to see part 3, comment below and let me know, and we'll just keep this party going.
Absolutely regret doing a fat transfer to my breast, and here is why. I had 2 babies, I've breastfed, and I had good solid A's before and after. Like, you just have skin. I'm no way, shape, or form like promoting plastic surgery, but for me, I just wanted to get back to where I was, and implants at the time wasn't right for me. So I wanted to take my own fat and put it on my breast. Well, I went to go get my consultation and they quoted me $45,000 to get air sculpt done. Not going to spend that amount of money, but after chatting with them, they knew what I did as a job, and they're like, hey, we're willing to fly out our best doctor and do this as a collab if you want to. Heck yeah. It was going to be a 2-week recovery. I only had to wear compressions for 2 weeks. I was going to be wide awake, and I will retain about 80% of the fat that was transferred. Let me tell you guys, it's not painless. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever had in my life. Worse than labor, worse than shattering my ankle. It was like a hot knife was just getting shoved into your body. The fact that I was waiting for this should be illegal. The recovery was awful. I ended up getting like burns everywhere because the compressions were way too small that they gave me. When I went in for my post-op appointment, I saw a different doctor because the other one flew back to Miami, and he told me like, no. Like, air sculpt tells you 2 weeks, and I think that's just to get you in. It's minimum 3 months you're wearing compressions. He's like, make sure you're feeding the fat and eat a high fat diet so the fat doesn't die off. I fully did that. Usually I eat around 65 to 80 grams of fat a day. I was eating like 200 grams of fat a day because I was like, this surgery is not going to waste. Still 3 years post-op, I have nerve damage. I only retained 10% of the fat. Like, I am back to basically what I was before, just completely flat. Just left my stomach kind of botched and like bumpy. If I could have told myself what was to come and the nerve damage and the healing process, I would not have done it. Instead, I think I would have done a lift or maybe done smaller implants. And I was seeing people coming to their post-op appointment, and they would sit there and say, hey, we have this amazing scar cream. It's usually $150. Give us a 5-star review right now. We'll give it to you for free, but I have to see your review. So people were literally standing there 2 days post-op doing a 5-star review for the scar cream. But it's like, how do you know that you really liked the results or anything? Looking at possibly getting a lift done, a swimsuit every single day, and I just have so much skin and it's just always falling out. The questions, leave them below. I'll try to answer all of them.
I regret my breast augmentation, and here's why. I got my first breast augmentation 6 years ago. At the time, I really felt like that's what I needed to be feminine and sexy because I was extremely flat-chested. I was so excited that I just wanted to go big or go home. So I went from an A cup to a triple D cup. And that's when things started going downhill. The implants were way too heavy and my body just couldn't keep it in place. It dropped below the pocket, causing a double bubble. What it means is that my breast tissue was on top and then the implant was below. I decided to get a second breast augmentation and go much smaller. The second surgery was twice as expensive because the doctor had to fix all the damages done by the first doctor, not mentioning the amount of pain that I went through both times. Now I know that I wanted it for all wrong reasons. I thought I need implants to feel confident and feminine. Now that I'm older, I know that it's not true. Now I know that confidence, it's an extremely hard work that you need to do with yourself. And I can't wait to get my implants completely out.